Hello, welcome everybody to a bit of a late night update here as we're heading into the weekend. Wish you first of all a great start to the weekend. Enjoy your weekend. I think we're going to see some consolidation. That's my view over the weekend after we had a bit of a late Friday flush across the sector. Nothing too major, nothing too unexpected, but still a bit of a late Friday mini flush, which is kind of rare. So we want to talk a little bit about price action. We want to talk a little bit about what could happen now, what the levels are. And I want to share with you a roadmap to this potential B wave low here. Okay, so obviously, if you watch previous updates, then you are very much aware that we are looking still for higher prices. That hasn't changed. So I still am focusing on the rally to 130K. That could be within an ABC structure, as shown in white. It could also be a more directly bullish scenario, which is in yellow. But in this scenario, it's gonna be, could go a little lower, no problem. It will take a while until it's invalidated. But we have to, we currently follow both counts, both scenarios. Okay, so the yellow count is an A wave and a B wave, and then here a 1-2 setup, and we could go higher more directly, but for now the focus is on lower prices in this white B wave on the smaller time frame. I am even sharing for you with you a resistance area, but again we're here on the daily chart, so let's briefly talk about that first. There is likely going to be some structural support, at least from a daily chart point of view, at around $100,750. This is the previous swing low here from the 12th of May. And yeah, I mean, below that level, it might become more probable that we're actually in the white B wave, not yellow. People ask me, is it white or yellow? And I can tell you these are both the probable options. Okay, the ones that are not preferred, I don't even show. I mean, honestly, there are so many different scenarios I could show you, but I show you only two. And these are my preferred ones. I can't tell you which one is more likely because they're both likely. Again, all the other ones that I find less likely are not even shown. This would sometimes doesn't come across, I think, but it's an eye opener for many people that literally the market could do anything. There's an infinite potential of possibilities here. Market could do anything. But we boil it down to two, maybe three scenarios, but I really only show you two. The third one, which is the red one, which is the bearish one, which is the count that will be activated if we break below support here at 81K. That's not the preferred one. That's just not preferred. So it's a reasonable alternative. Now, to approach this from a swing trading point of view or larger swing trades, position trades, it's absolutely reasonable to see it as a triangle pattern or triangle approach. What does it mean? It means that we have a support area, and honestly, below 81,340, the bullish thesis will start to crumble, which means it can be reasonable to start to accumulate slowly on the way down. Now you might say, but we are far away from that level, right? We might never test it. I mean, never, shouldn't say never. I think at some point we'll get there. In the next bear market should be the case, right? But on this way down, what if it's a shallow correction, a short pullback? Well, again, then you can always scale up your trade when we turn around early, right? The goal is not to get a full position. The goal is to manage risk, stay safe in the market, understand risk parameters, have a model. With that, you can calculate your position size and be comfortable with the risk. And the triangle gives you a nice, I don't know, it's a nice, it's assisting you with that because it tells you roughly, it gives an idea of the position size. If you say, okay, I've got so much money, this amount of money, I wanna get exposed to Bitcoin, maybe I have no BTC, then okay, you put that money into bits, chunks, and you can kind of accumulate on the way down. So up here is obviously top of the pyramid, the triangle, smallest position. And then you go larger, 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 larger. If it breaks, at some point you have to stop, either below the box, stop out, or below the April low. So you have to pick one level that's right for you, calculate your position size, so it doesn't hurt when you get stopped out. But to the downside, you would go larger and larger with each batch. But the entire size, the chunk of money, that's your position size. You just, cut it into pieces, essentially. So that's one way of doing it. Normally, it can be reasonable only to use half of that money you have available for accumulating Bitcoin, because just manage risk again, and then you can say, okay, let's assume the price goes down. Thanks so much for watching the videos on this YouTube channel. If you've been thinking about joining MCO as a member, now might be a great time. You can use the link in the video description and apply the discount code right below it. You will get 50% off your first month of our Gold membership, and you can explore everything we offer. It's the easiest way to test the membership, see if it's a good fit for you, and get a feel for the community, join the conversation, and I'm looking forward to meeting you in our member area. So let's assume it fills out everything. Let's assume it does this textbook. It goes higher, then you have only used half of your funds, and then you would save the rest for the next 1-2 setup. Okay, well, same game. The goal is not to always have a full position. No, it's not. It's more about managing risk. But that's just one way of doing it. I'm just showing you what's generally reasonable, what's sort of discussed as best practice among Elliott Wave traders. Essentially, Elliott Wave is not a trading system, right? I just show you one reasonable way to accumulate in the pullback. Elliott Wave is a method of structuring the markets, getting clarity from chaos. So that's how I see it. And in that, that therefore it also does not matter at all whether it's the yellow or the white count, because we don't know. Be comfortable in the uncertainty. That's really what it's about. Be able to navigate that uncertainty with clear parameters. So you have clarity, not certainty, clarity. So that's how I see BTC at the moment on the daily time frame. Smaller time frame, we really haven't got any surprises here. What I have done today throughout the day, if you have access to our live charts, then you know that I've adjusted the micro resistance area a little lower here. That's our B wave resistance as shown in white. Again, this shows you a pathway here to that B wave low. So after a potential A wave top, we're tracking a B wave down, which should be A, B, C, and A. An A wave can also turn into 5 waves, so we need to be flexible about that. Then it could be a B wave bounce and a C wave down. So 3 waves down overall. The support area was mentioned a few minutes ago. And in the white scenario, we're looking for a larger ABC structure. Now, in the yellow scenario, we have a slightly different count. That's the more aggressively bullish one, where we might not go down that much. But overall, the pressure is down as long as we stay below 110,120. It basically takes an impulsive break above that level for a direct breakout signal. For now, my assumption would be that we're going to work on this wave 4 on the weekend. I mentioned in the last video that the third wave down should ideally extend a little more. It's now reached one of these fib levels. I think we talked in the previous video together here about this cluster of support, because there are 3 levels, previous swing low and 2 fib levels close together, and that's still where the market is right now. So let's see. It could be that we consolidate around this area over the weekend. Okay, maybe a little further downside, but overall I think it might be a wave 4 weekend, which means a bit of a consolidation, which might last a couple of days, given that the wave 2 also lasted a couple of days. So for those of you who don't know, on Saturday and Sunday this weekend, I'm going to run a member live stream, our MCO Live. Normally happens only every Sunday, but last Sunday I had to skip it for some reason. So there'll be one live stream on 5 p.m. On Saturday and on Sunday. So if you remember, you can join that. It's always a great community, great time to connect, great opportunity as well. You can ask questions, put requests in. I answer all the questions. Can never cover all requests, but there are typically like 30 to 50 coins covered per live stream. So we should have a lot of coins covered, because I don't want to cover them on, I don't want to cover the same coin on both days. So there'll be a huge amount of coins we cover. If you want to join that conversation, feel free to join the membership, and I wish you a great weekend. If we don't see each other during the stream, then have a great weekend. Enjoy the weekend, relax a bit, and see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.